Hello everyone, welcome to my channel where I share with you some fascinating stories about the history of cinema. Today, we are going to talk about one of the greatest comedians of all time, Buster Keaton. You may have seen some of his classic silent films, such as The General, Sherlock Jr., or The Navigator, but do you know how he became such a legend? In this video, I will tell you some amazing facts about his life and career and show you some clips from his hilarious movies. Let's get started. Fact number 1. Buster Keaton got his nickname from Harry Houdini. Buster Keaton was born as Joseph Frank Keaton IV in 1895 in a small town in Kansas. His parents were vaudeville performers who traveled around the country with their comedy act. When Buster was only 6 months old, he fell down a flight of stairs but was not hurt at all. The famous magician Harry Houdini, who was working with the Keatons at the time, picked up the baby and said, "That was a Buster." The name stuck, and Buster became part of the family show when he was 3 years old. Fact number 2. Buster Keaton learned how to do stunts from his father. The Keatons act was called The Three Keatons, and it involved a lot of physical comedy and acrobatics. Buster's father, Joe, would throw him around the stage or into the audience, using him as a human mop. Buster learned how to take falls and avoid injuries from a very young age. He also developed his trademark deadpan expression, because he realized that the more serious I turn, the bigger laugh I got. Fact number 3. Buster Keaton made his first film with Fatty Arbuckle. In 1917, when Buster was 21 years old, he was invited to play a small role in a comedy film called The Butcher Boy, directed by and starring Roscoe "Fatty" Arbuckle. Buster was fascinated by the movie medium and decided to work with Arbuckle as a supporting actor and a co-writer. He spent the next 2 years learning every aspect of filmmaking from directing to editing. He also became friends with Arbuckle, who was very generous and supportive of his talent. Fact number 4. Buster Keaton created his own film studio and made some of the most innovative films of the silent era. In 1920, Buster Keaton started his own production company and began making his own short films. He had complete creative control over his projects, and he experimented with different genres, techniques, and effects. He made some of the most original and inventive films of the time, such as The Playhouse, where he played every role on the screen, or The High Sign, where he used a complex set of hidden mechanisms and trapdoors. He also made some of the most spectacular and dangerous stunts ever filmed, such as jumping onto a moving train or having a house fall on him. Fact number 5. Buster Keaton's masterpiece is The General, a film that was initially a flop. In 1926, Buster Keaton made his most ambitious and expensive film, The General, a historical comedy based on a true story from the Civil War. Keaton played a train engineer who chases after his stolen locomotive and his kidnapped girlfriend, and gets involved in a series of adventures and battles. The film was a masterpiece of comedy, action, and romance, and featured some of the most impressive scenes ever filmed, such as a real train crash and a cannonball chase. However, the film was not well received by the critics or the audiences at the time, who expected a more conventional and slapstick comedy. The film was a box office failure, and Keaton lost his independence as a filmmaker. Fact number 6. Buster Keaton had a difficult transition to sound films, but he made a comeback in the 1940s and 1950s. Buster Keaton's career declined in the late 1920s and early 1930s, as he struggled with personal and professional problems. He signed a contract with MGM, a major studio that did not appreciate his style and vision. He also had a divorce, a drinking problem, and a nervous breakdown. He made some sound films, but they were not very successful or satisfying. He was reduced to making cheap comedies and supporting roles. However, he did not give up, and he managed to recover and revive his career in the 1940s and 1950s. He appeared in some feature films such as Sunset Boulevard, where he played himself, and Limelight, where he teamed up with Charlie Chaplin. He also starred in some TV shows such as The Buster Keaton Show and The Twilight Zone. He received an honorary Oscar in 1959 and was recognized as one of the greatest comedians and filmmakers of all time. Fact number 7. Buster Keaton influenced many filmmakers and performers, from Orson Welles to Jackie Chan. Buster Keaton's legacy is immense and lasting. His films have inspired and influenced many generations of filmmakers and performers who admire his creativity, skill, and courage. Some of the most famous names who acknowledged his influence are Orson Welles, who called him the greatest of all the clowns in the history of cinema, and who considered The General one of the best films ever made. Woody Allen, who paid homage to him in several of his films, such as The Purple Rose of Cairo and Zelig. Mel Brooks, who spoofed his style and gags in films like Silent Movie and High Anxiety. Jackie Chan, who emulated his stunts and expressions in his action comedies. And Wes Anderson, who used his visual style and themes in films like The Grand Budapest Hotel and Moonrise Kingdom. Well, these are some of the facts that I wanted to share with you about Buster Keaton, the great stone face of the silent screen. I hope you enjoyed this video and learned something new and interesting about this amazing comedian and filmmaker. If you did, please give this video a like and subscribe to my channel for more videos like this. And don't forget to leave a comment below and tell me what you think about Buster Keaton and what other topics you would like me to cover in the future. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.